Okay, so we move forward to our first Battle for Zendika draft that I've recorded. Missed the first pick, but as you can see, it's Clutch Occurrence. Really good card. Really good card. It's one of my favourites. The rare in the pack was just a colourless land ramp. I think it's Temple of the Forsaken God. There's no way you can pick that as a first pick in any pack. At that point, you don't know whether you're going to be colourless. You don't know if you're going to see a good Eldrazi. I mean, there's plenty floating around that are playable, but you don't want to go into that straight away. As I've always said, removal's king. So Clutch Occurrence was the pick, and no doubts. Seer Royal's Retribution. Okay, 5 mana. You can wipe a load of tokens. You can hit something pretty good. It's got a standard rider that all white removal has. It needs to be attacking or blocking, but you play white long enough, you get used to that. That's not a problem. So that was the pick there. High end and low end removal. What we got in this pack? Nothing shouting out really. Breaker of Armies is a good card, but the thing with these Eldrazi, they often will in the pack until late game, especially in the first pack. Like people are trying to set up their synergies, and an Eldrazi's a finisher. You want to get that synergy, that idea locked down quite early. So it's going to be Ondu Rising. I don't know if I'm going to play it. It's probably my least favourite of the Awakened cards, but it's in there. There's always a chance of seeing the Felidar Sovereign. Life game would be a win condition in that, so possibly. In this pack, 3 viable cards in colour. This is Renewal. You can't pick that. Brilliant Spectrum. I'm not looking to go into 3 or 4 colours unless I have to. So I couldn't pick that right now. I know some people don't like the Wavewing Elemental. I quite like it. It's big in the air. Landfall makes it even bigger in the air. At this point, I'll take the McKinley Patrol. It's quite early on. I could see that ally synergy kick in. Still contemplating having to change out of colours if I don't see it. Oh well, right, that right there. Royal Spout, immediate pick. That also signifies to me that the 4 players before, none of them are thinking about white or blue. Royal Spout, if you're thinking of going white-blue and that's in a pack, you take it. So to see that means I'm thinking, although I've had not amazing picks so far, I could well see some good stuff coming around. And yet, immediately back down to seeing 3 viable cards. Circling Fisher, again, it's probably on the same level as Ondu Rising, slightly better. It'll buy you a turn. The downside is it's Awakened only 2. Again, I'm starting to think that someone else is playing white and blue, or just as rubbish pack for the first picks. Retreat's my least favourite. I'm not going to be playing that straight away. Again, only 2 viable in here. I quite like Stonehaven as a nice good 2-drop. He's got big in the back end. He can gain you the life if you don't have to block with him. And this set doesn't have a lot happening in the first and second drops. So to have one that can just mitigate anyone who's trying to go aggro, it's pretty good, and it gives you the time to find the late end. So far, no amazing bombs, but draft isn't always about the bombs. We've got some Awaken, which I'm a big fan of this mechanic, getting those lands to do things late game in draft, and you're just drawing land after land after land. It's just frustrating. So to make sure that you can see an Awaken spell, turn that land into a creature, and then start getting some value out of it. And if it trades, it trades. Late game draft, it's not uncommon to see 8 or 9 lands on the table. So who cares if one gets blown up if it removes a creature from theirs? And if they're not playing Awaken, they might only be playing 13 to 15 creatures. If you play the same amount of creatures and you can Awaken your lands, you can trade 1 for 1 all day long. Okay, nothing in here that's shouting out. Ulamog's Despoiler, who knows? If I can get some of the processing, if I can ingest, he can do some stuff. But first instinct, he's in the sideboard. Wavewing Elemental's wheeled, so I'm probably going to take... I mean, what have I got? A Plains or another colourless Eldrazi. Not a lot of options. And again, not a lot. I just don't think there was a lot of white or blue cards in this deck. I don't really want to go to Oracle or Dust if I haven't seen any ingest. So I've taken another colourless Eldrazi, and you know, the good thing about the Eldrazi is they fit in any deck, so whatever I end up in, they can go into it. Another Wavewing Elemental. Will I play 2? Probably not. All Good Nice Kite Sail Scout last turn. It's a 1-drop, 1/1 in the air. You know, it's not setting the world alight, but I might play it. It's a 1-drop, evasion. They'll have to address it eventually. Taking the basic land over dutiful return. So what do we see in our next pack? Oh, Part the Water Val. Never going to play that. Quite like a Salvage Drone. You know, it's got that ingest. It's a 1-drop. I've got the Ulamog's, whatever it's called. What we got here? Rush of Ice, Ruination Guide. Not got enough colourless for that. It's got to be Rush of Ice again. It's not proper removal, but freeze effects they're always good. And again, Awaken, extra value. Again, I've seen the Ingester now, so I'm probably going to take the Ruin Processor. It's one of my favourites. It's 7 mana for a 7/8, and if you process, you gain 5 life. Come the late game, you can take the early hits, knowing that you're going to have that processor in hand. And if you can make sure you get that ingest coming in as a 7/8 and filling you back up with 5 life, it's probably one of, if not my favourite processor. Another Clutch of Currents, that's good news. Again, I don't think people's in blue. Another Salvaging Drone. I'm going to hit these ingest triggers. You can see it coming already. At this point, Ulamog's Desolator can come back in. I'm fairly happy I'm going to hit these ingest triggers. I'm going to be able to return their stuff and get the effects. Ulamog's Desolator is a great one. If you can return 2 cards instead of being a 5/5, it's a 9/9 for 6 mana. Contemplating take the retreat to Hagra as a hate draft because I hate what that card can do. But seeing a 3rd Salvage Drone, I mean, that's me sorted. I don't need to put any more ingest. You know, I should reliably get those in a couple of turns. Ghostly Sentinel, 3/3 in the air. Vigilance is good. People have to find an answer for it, otherwise it's going to bleed them out. Decent size flyer for this set. You know, it's not the biggest, but, you know, as I said, people don't like Wavewing Elemental. Unless they find the rare flyers, you know, your Guardian of Tazim and stuff, he's probably going to win most air combats, or at least trade. What we've got here, Anticipate onto Greathorn. I'm not a big fan of Anticipate. Certainly not in this set. I like the art though. The art's real nice. Probably not going to play that. Especially not taking my last spell slot. Anyone who's watched me draft knows I like to go for the 15 and 8 if possible. But, you know, it's flexible. This is more of a spell deck. No real options here either. Felidar Cub, you know, if they get any of the retreats, he can come out on my sideboard and go in. Anyone who's played draft in this format, the retreats do a lot of work. Just turning those land drops into spell effects is just good. Unless I get desperate for creatures, he's not going to be main board. No real options here. I'll take the Incubator Drone. I don't think I'll play it. I've got the control locked down, so I don't think I need to be ramping into an Eldrazi. I'll just buy the terms. Really surprised to see the Coral Helm guide come in. You know, with any kind of deck with an Eldrazi in, he'll win you the game. You know, if you've played an Eldrazi at 7 mana, next turn you play him at 7 mana, you're now making that last Eldrazi unblockable this turn. You know, same reason that Rogue's Passage was good in Origins Draft, just value of being able to make stuff unblockable. Just in case, we're just picking out stuff now. Last few picks, not going to be relevant. Yeah, no, not playing any of these things. Going into the last pack, oh wow, Felidar Sovereign. We got that Ondu Rising, 4/6 Vigilance, Lifelink. He's probably going to push the Wavewing Elemental out of that spot. Double white's not a problem. I'm looking at trying to hit it for Roy's Retribution. And I have a soft spot for Felidar Sovereign. As a commander player, I run him in a deck, and it's horrible. Commanders start at 40. Felidar wins the game if you're at 40. Just horrible things can be done with that card. So I have a soft spot for it, so he's definitely in. Oh, we had a little glitch there. Horribly awry, not really fan on some of my spells, and that's a good one. It'll also give me a card in exile, so out goes Anticipate. I do like Bane, but Smite the Monstrous. You see that, you've got to take it. That kills Eldrazi. Rush of Ice in this pack too. Probably the best card for me in here. Still, I'd rather see a Clutch at Currents, so let's just bump that one out for now. Looking for 2 more creatures, or possibly 2 spells, but if they're going to be spells, they've got to be doing some work. Another Royal Spout would be nice right now. The Clutch of Currents. Do I need it? Sheer Drop, I do like Sheer Drop. It's a straight up kill spell. Sorcery Speed, but still Awaken. Could hope that Fortified Rampart will will, or the Clutch of Currents. I think one of them would definitely will. And the Destroy is not going to will, so I'll take the Sheer Drop. So this is looking quite good. No fixing, but I'm in 2 colours and they're quite even spread. I've got the colourless at the end. I don't think I need any kind of fixing. Not even really interested in Evolving Wilds. 13 creatures. Some curves in Battle for Zendikar, kind of end top heavy. We've gone for a more traditional 1, 2, 3 scaling down all the way, but I have a problem with that. Everyone's got value where they are. They'll either hold their own or trade. Getting extra value out of those ingest triggers is always nice. Don't think I'm really going to see in the last pack. You don't really see Eldrazi. People know what they want at this point, so they're taking Eldrazi. They're filling out their top end. What don't I want to see? Because there is nothing in here I want. In the unlikely event someone's in green, Scythe Leopard's horrible. He hits in for 2. Valakut Predator, way worse in the red deck, so that can go. Let's hate draft that. Fortified Rampart, I don't think I need a second Sheer Drop, but Gideon's Reproach, good removal. It's going to be that. Another Ghostly Sentinel. I can afford to go a bit heavy in my top end. I don't like some Battle for Zendikar decks go up to 17, 18 lands, but my curve's more traditional. I don't think I need to go up that high, so I'm probably looking at 16, maybe 17 lands, and a Coral Helm Guide. I don't think I need a second one. Onto Greathorn, people will kill that. It gets out from them. It's a 2/3 with first strike for 4. Landfall, making it bigger. I kind of always knew I weren't going to play the Incubator Drone, so that can go out for the Greathorn. They will kill that. No one wants to see that live on the table. It gets value. Do I need another one? There's no other choices here, really, is there? Even if it goes sideboard. Oh, what we got? This is just picking whatever's in colour or to hate draft anything. But to be fair, if someone really wanted this stuff, the last 5 picks of the last packs, then they're going to have it. Let's cut the other cub. Can go. Let's get a wave wing back in there. I have 3 5 drops and 6 drops. There's no point in having the cub until you see that it's got a relevant target, because at the end of the day it's just a bear. Ooh, fortified rampart. Didn't think that would come back around. Oh, and another one. Wow, I'll cut both the flyers to have both the ramparts, definitely. Yeah, there goes the Kite Sail Scouts. You know, a 1-1 flyer in the air just can't compare with a 0-6. I mean, he will stop decks just early, real early. There's the lands. Do I want to cut anything? Probably 2 cards over, maybe 1. I could cut 1 spell. But what would it be? Cut a Ghostly Sentinel? Nah, it just feels wrong to cut it. The patrol, the McKinley patrol. I didn't see the ally synergies at all, so I can cut that. Add another planes in. 16 seems fine. More traditional curve. So I think we will cut and go to first game.